Good morning, my friends. I want to explain to you a little bit about how to create your own life, whatever that you want that to be, whatever your desires and dreams are. This kind of is a cross point between my story about recovering alone, or not story, but the video I made about that it's possible to recover alone, and the practical spiritual notes because I did do this alone. This is how I did it alone because other people provide resources. And if we don't have the resources we get from others, we need to learn how to tap into our own inner resources and our own ability to create from that place of energy, because matter is made out of energy. You can create physical circumstances in your life based in energy, and the emotions and thoughts and intentions you set within yourself. It's very possible to do, but there's a lot of it's like any kind of scientific or complex process. It's not like it's important to understand how it works. We'll just put it that way. So the first thing I want to tell you, especially if you're doing this alone and you're wanting to, create any situation, whether this is related to your health or your living situation or your relationships or your future, the first thing to do is to set your intention. And what I encourage you to do is imagine painting an energetic picture. That's what I want you to do, is work on developing the feeling of what it is that you want, and set the intention as explicitly and clearly as you can, using words, using emotions, using images that you've gotten from anywhere in life. It may not be from your own life. It may be from movies or just, looking around the world and seeing other people having things that you want. You can use all of that to kind of create an image of what it is that you want to have. I did this, like one really easy example is with my home life and my kids and my relationship with them. There was a very clear kind of painted an image in my mind of what it was that I wanted to have with them, and used all of these things. So setting your intention is the first step to get that ball rolling. This is the part, and there's a lot of information out in the world about manifestation and that sort of thing. And my approach is very different because it just comes from a very different place than a lot of what I've heard, at least from other folks. Know that there's a couple of key things when it comes to this process of manifestation or creating from a place of energy. One is your beliefs about yourself, which is influenced by, and this is the biggest one that I don't hear talked about nearly enough, is that one of the biggest things that is in between us and the lives we want is the amount of unprocessed trauma we have in our nervous system stored there. So again, if you're in limbic recovery, know that this is part of your journey of recovery as well. When we set the intention to be well, then it's going to be brought to us every single bit of whatever trauma or patterns are inside of us that are in the way of or are not congruent with that new reality or that new experience we want to have of health. It's going to need to be purged or removed at some point. That's huge. That makes space for healthy beliefs about yourself. It makes space for worthiness. It makes space for building the brain and nervous system functions that we need to have that life. For example, one of the biggest things I needed to do to manifest my life with my kids was heal my fawn response. I had a lifelong, really severe fawn response, and I didn't know how to relate in a healthy way at all. So there was no way I was going to have the loving, harmonious, functional home life I wanted without healing my fawn response and then learning how to connect and learning the skills of emotional availability and intimacy and parenting and all of that. So that there's like a whole bunch of just like very technical work that needed to get done in that. And the biggest thing I encourage you to do it's this particular hack saved my life so many times. I can't even tell you. Is if you are in a place and you want to get somewhere else, and I did this with my kids too a lot, you'll think of it as the world is like, I love furniture stores. It's like a giant furniture store with all the different levels, and there's different furniture, there's different things on different levels. And your job is simply to recognize what room you're in. You could be in a room of fear, you could be in a room of limitation or scarcity or whatever, and you want to go to a room of abundance. You want to go to, it's another vibration. You're wanting to go to another place vibrationally, and you can use your tools to get there. But one really cool thing I realized at one point was I really wanted to connect more with my kids, and I was stuck in grief over the situation the way it was. And I realized that they were in the room, they were on the vibration of play and joy and freedom and safety and fun and creativity. And I was stuck over here in grief. And I was like, why can't I connect with my kids? I'm like, well, I've got to heal and process and let go of the grief over the way things are and have been in order to meet them where they are and that will work. And it worked really well. That got me out of a really stagnant spot I'd been stuck in for like 6 months at the time. So just thinking of it that way, in terms of you're going to a different place vibrationally, and you will meet the life or the situation or the people as well, if you're wanting to make new friends or meet a partner, or meet people that you already know, like I was doing with my kids. It's like you want to go to the vibration that you want that dynamic to take place in. If you want friendships with people who are empowered, be empowered, and then you will start to be in that room, and you'll bump into other people who are in that room. But understanding that it's your beliefs, your skills, and then clearing what's in the way and shifting your vibration. That's what's going to get you there, and no matter what it is. And that's why it's a process, and it's a matter of growth and healing to create the life we dream of. But this stuff works. I literally created my whole life from this. Like every circumstance I have, and it's all come from using this. So it's very, very powerful stuff, not to be underestimated, but it's also a bit more of a well-rounded process that involves a lot of practical work that we put in. It's not just like, oh, I wished for XYZ and it just popped out of the sky. I mean, that does kind of happen sometimes, but most of the time it's this. So just wanted to share that with those of you, especially who are doing this on your own, so you have more sense of, how does that work? Love you guys.